WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.
To the Ron Todd Show with your host, Ron Todd, for the latest in gospel music and good talk on one of the fastest growing internet gospel stations, WVTC Detroit. Ron can be heard each Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set your reminders and tell your friends. Ron's back on the air and it's fire. You can reach out to Ron on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's enjoy the Ron Todd Show. With all my mind, with all my mind, with all my mind, with all my mind. I came to glorify you. Yeah. I came to magnify. I came to bless your name. I came to bless your name and give you praise.
You've been looking for me. I've been looking for you. No. What's up, y'all? Here I am in the flesh. Welcome to the Ron Todd Show. I'm super excited to be here. We have another amazing show for you guys tonight. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to get on your phone, get on your email, your Twitter. Let everybody know that the Ron Todd Show is on. They just need to get logged on just like you are, and they will be able to see it as well. All right, so let's do it. Let's jump right into one of my favorite segments. Is called What's the Tea? What's the tea in the streets today? Well. I have brought the tea here with me, and as a matter of fact, we're talking about tea and tea. That's Tasha White. What's going on, Tasha?
How are you?
Good. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
You look beautiful as always.
Thank you, and you're so handsome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, you do so many things.
Yes.
And so I want you to just tell people a little bit about yourself before we jump into what we're really going to talk about today.
Yes. Well, my name is Tasha White. I own TNT Treasures. It's a boutique. I've been owning it since 2011. I also own TNT Taxes, and I've been doing taxes 17 years, and I've had my tax firm for 4.
Wow.
Yes.
So let's be clear. Now, y'all know it's tax season. Don't play. And you know good and well you can't wait to get your little dollars so you can say you tax rich.
Yes.
So this is what I need you to do. I need you to holler at Tasha White at TNT Tax Service.
Yes.
Now tell everybody, now, how long have you had the tax service?
I've had TNT Taxes for 4 years, me and my sister Toya White.
Okay.
And we have been successful in the last 4 years of owning our own. I was independent contracting through different companies, and I started off with H&R Block.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, and we know that that's one of the larger companies, more well-known than some of the more boutique companies, but what I love about that is you have a wide range of experience.
Yes.
Because one thing about it, when people want to get their taxes done, they want to know that somebody's going to do it right. They don't want to get audited the next year and then be in trouble. Because, see, when I get my coins, I want to keep them. I don't want to give them back. So, but I love the fact that you guys have been doing it for so long, and you're doing it with your sister.
Yeah, she came aboard. She's an RN, so she only do it part time.
Okay.
But this is my passion, and one day I was like, look, I'm tired of working independent contracting for everybody else. The software was kind of expensive, and she called me and she was like, hey, I'll go half with you. Let's do it.
Wow.
So we end up opening it up. Yes.
That's awesome. And that's what we do as family.
Yes.
Look, let's make this money.
Yes.
And especially as a culture, I think we need to do that more. You know, work together with our family and things like that, because unfortunately in the African American community, allegedly, you know, we don't always do that.
No.
We try to one-up each other, even our own siblings.
Yes.
So I think it's absolutely amazing that you're
do.
doing that. Now, tell everybody where they can contact you if they need to get their taxes done.
Okay, my phone number contact is 248-508-2943, and I'm actually in 16,000 West 9 Mile, the Metropolitan Professional Center. That's Southfield, Michigan, Suite 306.
Awesome. I'm really excited. See, I'm going to have to give you a call because, see, I just got my W-2.
Amen.
So I've only worked at I got one place. That's it.
Okay.
Now, what if someone has had tax trouble in the past? Are you still able to assist them as well?
Yes, it depends on the complexity of the return. So if they had tax trouble and I can come up to them and say, hey, what do you need to do? We can amend it. Mm-hmm. We can possibly get the information from last year and straighten out things with the IRS. You do not want to be in tax trouble because whatever you have, the IRS have, and Uncle Sam wants his money.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
And one thing we know about the IRS, when Uncle Sam wants his money, he gonna get his money.
Amen.
Wonderful. Now, do people come to the same place for your boutique as well?
No, actually, that is. I hope you have me back on the show, so because possibly we will be having a new location.
Wonderful.
So it is a secret location. We're going to reveal it soon.
Okay.
But I do have some items in my office.
Great.
Yes.
And so, do you also sell pieces online?
Yes.
Okay.
Just Facebook and Instagram, but Facebook and Instagram is a big platform, so it helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell everybody your social media handles.
My Facebook is Tasha White Burton, and that's just simply Tasha White Burton. And Instagram is Tasha Boss 46.
I like that, Tasha the Boss.
Yes.
Now, Tasha, before we let you go, I know that you just experienced a major loss.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, I lost my dad on Christmas Eve. It was a big blow. I am his oldest, and it was unfortunate and it was unexpected. and we probably could still have our dad. He had a pulmonary embolism, and that's blood clots in the lungs that could have been prevented.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how could he have prevented that?
The hospital has a protocol that if a stroke victim is released from the hospital, they're supposed to get blood thinners or something like that because of the blood clots. And some things weren't done at the hospital. So, yeah, we would have had our dad much longer than what we did. So I feel robbed. I do. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I certainly, my prayers are with you and your family in
thank
your
you.
time of loss. And I wish you much success. You and Toya
Yes.
with TNT Text. Tell everybody one more time where it's located and where they can contact you.
Okay, my phone contact is 248-508-2943. I'm in the Metropolitan Professional Center, that's Southfield, Michigan. That's 16,000 West 9 Mile Road, Suite 306.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here.
It's good to see you again,
Yeah,
as
good
always.
to see you. Can't wait to have you back.
Yes, thanks.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Stay tuned right here to WVTC Gospel Detroit. This is the Ron Todd Show. All right, guys, we are back right here on the Ron Todd Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to Jada Jones, who's watching us. Shout out to Bonnie Vernell, Mashiba Webb. I see you as well. Thank you guys so much. I definitely appreciate you guys watching. But as you can see, the set just keeps getting more and more beautiful because we have my wonderful and beautiful guest, Elder Stacy Rose is here.
Yes.
Yes, and I am super excited. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
This means the world. And you know what? This has been a long time coming.
Yes.
And I've wanted to have you on the show. And you know what's so funny? Sometimes we get so busy and doing other things, and so many people are calling. I'm like, oh no, I gotta have Elder Stacy on the show.
Well, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. One, because you're such a powerhouse in the faith. You really, really are. You're somebody that I talk about all the time because you are real, you're authentic, and you're bold about what you stand for in God. And I really
Amen.
appreciate that.
Amen.
We ain't got time for no cowards. You know.
Thank you for saying that nicely. I appreciate it.
No, it's the truth. And so I really appreciate what you do in ministry, and I appreciate what God is doing for you and how you're branching out into other areas.
Amen.
You know, it's one thing to be a minister of the gospel and, you know, to be a leader within the church, but God is calling you to do other things in other areas, and that's what I kind of want to talk about more so today.
Amen.
And that's because you're an author.
Yes,
Which
I am.
is so exciting.
It
Yes.
is exciting.
You have a couple powerful books, and so it's one thing I really wanted to know was what inspired you to start writing.
Just having a bunch of stories. You know, when you go through a lot of things in life, you have some stories to tell. And
Absolutely.
you know, and the Bible talks about that. You know, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. But if we
Yes.
never tell our testimony, who's going to know it?
Absolutely.
You know, so that's what inspired me the most. Is God. It took a minute, but I got there.
Yeah, and tell everybody because I can only imagine that you writing these books you were inspired through Scripture and by God. How does God speak to you?
Most of the time, God will speak to me just when I'm either by myself or really in worship. When I really get into a place of worship, He'll just flow. You know, I can get Him in the car, I can get Him in different places, but when I'm in worship, it just flows.
Wow. And usually, how long does it take you to write the book?
Like, it was 20 years in my mind getting it out. But once I got it there, it wasn't
Yeah.
as bad. You just have to stay focused. I think probably within 6 months, I was done
Wow.
with both books because, it's just a matter of me being still. I'm everywhere.
Okay, so now this question is really important because so many people have ideas and they want to write books and things of that nature, but then they're like, well, once I do it, who's going to edit it? And how do I get it published? So how did you go about that process?
Truly, God just sent it. I mean, honestly, for me, it was just that easy because He know I'm a busy person, and I'm working for Him at all times. But for me, I met one of my mentors. She had wrote a small book, and she's like, hey, I'm just going to refer you to my author. Her name was Sheila Bell. She's awesome. She's not in state, but she's awesome. I mean, with the editing, with the pictures, with everything, she really makes it flow. We give her an idea, you give her an idea, and she just flow with it. It's really amazing. But her name is Sheila Bell, and it came to me that way. Wow. But it's a lot of publications out here right now. I see a lot of TV ads going across right now. It's so many avenues. If you start writing, God will do what He need to do.
That's it. I love that. Now, what do you want people to get out of your books?
What I want people to get out of my Free to Be Me book, and this is the first book that I wrote, I want to get them out of bondage. This book is based on nothing but bondages in our lives, and it has become so familiar to us, it's our norm. We don't even know it's a bondage.
Wow.
It's just our norm. But God don't want us in those fears. He don't want us in anxiety. He don't want us in depression. He don't want us just in lack all the time. But so much, if you're in that environment, that's all you know. And it's your norm. And God saying, no, that's a bondage, and He want to break it.
That's right. So in your Free to Be Me book, why do you feel like it's so important to get free in different areas?
I believe it's important because it's named Free to Be Me. I believe it's important for you to be free for yourself. So many times we invest in our families. If you got a husband, you got a wife, you got a job, you got kids, you got grandkids, you got sisters, you got nieces, you got nephews, and all the time you this one person, but you 50 other people. And you never find you. God told me something that I thought that was so deep. He said, we learn and go get our educations and skills. We can get masters, we can get bachelors, we can be skilled for 15, 20 years on the job, but we will not take a time to know who we are.
Wow.
That's why you can see those people that say, I never thought they'd do that.
Right.
Because they didn't know themselves. So they didn't know what was in them. They don't even know the trigger point that can cause you to do something crazy. And he said, we do all this and pay all this money, and I'm not knocking education, but learn you. Learn your trigger points. What makes you aggravated? What makes you stressed? Because that stuff will kill you.
Absolutely. Now, Made Without Excuse.
Yes.
First of all, I love that title. How did you come up with that title?
God himself gave me the Made Without Excuse. And it was just amazing as he talked about how we make excuses for everything. He said, the only excuse you have is the one you make.
Wow.
Ain't nothing stopping you from doing anything, because the Bible says with men it's impossible, with God all things is possible. So the only thing stopping you is you and the excuses you make for yourself.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
That is powerful.
That was powerful, and I mean, it just came straight from God. I get no glory in none of that, y'all, honestly, because I seen him say, and I was like, that is true.
Yeah.
You know, we make a lot of excuses in life about what we can and cannot do.
That is really something. Now, I want to talk about your writing process, because when you're writing the books, is it hard for you to keep focus?
Oh, yes. It's hard to keep focused because of everything that's moving around you. And you know how it is. When you make a step to say, I'm going to do something for God, they throw everything but the kitchen sink. That's the old saying. You get everything but the kitchen sink thrown at you. So you have to stay focused, because the minute you hit the computer, the phone's going to ring. You know what I'm saying? The minute you hit the computer, somebody's knocking at the door. Hey, I need you to do this. So focus is very important.
So what would you say your biggest struggle was before writing your book?
Fear.
Wow.
Fear. You know, and I talk about that in my Free to Be Me book. Fear is one of the biggest things that hold us back. Fear of failure, fear of probably making it. It could be either or. It doesn't even have to be just the failure side. Even success. You don't like, I don't know, man, and just being discouraged. And, it depends on your environment. So much about that is my environment in that book, because, when people down talking, you don't want to do it. They tell you can't. You feel like, I can't. But it's fear. And God ain't gave us a spirit of fear, but a love, power, and a sound mind. So we got to focus on that. But I tell you, fear, that thing had a grip on me for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, it was just crazy. Like, my son got hit when he was like 4. I worked in Livonia and lived in Highland Park. If I heard an EMS, I thought they was going to my house. That's how I would pick up my phone, text, like, everything okay, good at the house? Fear. Because he ain't, so it's a whole nother level dealing with fear. But I think that's one of people's biggest bondages.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So as you guys can hear, these books are must-reads. Everybody needs to get a copy of this book. Tell them how they can get it.
Yep. You can get it through Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble online. You can download it through iTunes on your iPad. You can get it through Kindle. And you can get in touch with me, because my phone number and email is also in the back of the books.
Okay. Tell everybody how they can reach you on social media as well.
You can reach me at Stacy Needs Jesus on Instagram and Stacy Rose on Facebook. But I need them every day, so.
I love that. Stacy Needs Jesus, and that's Stacy.
Yes, and NEDS. Make sure you add the S. Stacy Needs Jesus at gmail.com. You can contact me that way too.
Now let me ask you this, because obviously at the kid level, they can begin to read and things of that nature. Would you say these books are for the mature reader, or even something that a teenager may need to read?
This book is for everybody. God said, keep it simple, keep it plain. And that's what I did. It could have been more profound, and I could have made it sound greater and sound better, but he said, keep it simple, keep it plain, because I wanted everybody to be able to read this book. A 6-year-old could pick this book up probably and read it. I know my grandkids could read it 6. So it's just that simple. It's just that plain.
And, I think that's important, because anytime, me, if I got to pick up a book, it's just like when I hear someone preach. I preach practical application, and that's how I like to receive. Because if I got to go do a book report on your sermon, then you did something wrong. So same thing, when I read a book, if I got to go and research what I think you were trying to say, then we're doing too much.
Yes.
So I can appreciate when an author says, I want to make sure that you understand the point that I'm trying to get across.
That's it.
Wow.
And it's just plain and simple, and it's short. And the reason why he told me to make it short, he said, because we just overloaded with information in this society today. It's an overload, and nobody don't even want to take the time to read like they used to do because it's just too much. And he said, keep it plain, keep it simple, and keep it short. I mean, the people that had called me and, talked about the book, they just, just thank you for making it simple. Yeah. Thank you for making it easy. I didn't give you a long story. I gave you the quickest story that I can give you to get you free and set free and saved. That's it.
And, a lot of times I think we have to just realize that people have a hard time reading anyway. That, there was an old joke, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book.
Yep.
So it's like, it's difficult enough to get people to read, unfortunately.
Yes.
So it's like, I think if you make it concise, then it's like, I'm going to make sure that you can grip this information. Yes. Versus going around the mulberry bush. Again, see, we preachers, so I make preacher jokes. Stick to the text and get to the point.
Yes.
You took me all around the world and and you lost the folks because you've been preaching an hour. Give them good 30 minutes and get on out of there so they can catch what you say.
So they can and retain it. Because after about an hour, you start drifting off. I'm saved and I'm gonna tell the truth. I can blank some stuff out after a while.
After 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, now what am I gonna eat? I'm on Facebook. Did anybody say hi to me? Because you lost me. Yeah. You can be hollering and swinging from the chandelier like Tarzan.
Yes.
But so praise God. So tell everybody what's next for Elder Stacey Rose on your journey.
What's next for me? Like I said, I'm hoping to get into some schools. Get this book pushed through our young ladies, through our and it's man friendly, gentlemen. And get it pushed through. Just in schools, in prisons. I mean, that's my goal.
Absolutely.
Those are more so my things. Like I said, I was on, radio and on TV, but right now I got to stay and do things with the public, do things with our young people. We have to catch them now,
Absolutely.
Because it makes all the difference in the world. Because I'm telling you, even for myself, as a young person, I didn't have that person to go to and talk to and things like that. And that's another lost cause in our generation today. Nobody got time for anything.
Wow.
Not even for the children, not for the elderly, not for anyone. We just, the enemy keeps us busy. We went from point A to point B to point C to point D. You don't even get a break. By the time you do that, you go to sleep and the whole routine start over again tomorrow.
Yep.
That's
the truth.
And he said no.
What do you want your legacy to be? You have a beautiful new granddaughter.
Yes.
But what do you want people to remember you by?
I want people to remember me by as being that person. One, I believe in helping other people. I think that's one of the greatest things in the world, to show love to people. Yes. If they don't remember nothing about me, they're going to say, she loved me. I'm telling you, I dogged her out, and she still helped me. Yeah. They were going to remember love, because love lasts.
Absolutely.
The Bible says that love casts out all fear, and that's what we don't understand. It really does, because when you can love somebody, you can love them through the good, you can love them through the bad, they'll remember that. Honestly, I got a nephew, and he was a ministry by himself. But I tell you, I'm the only person can talk to him and control him to this day. Wow. Because it's like, no, she loved me. She loved me when I shot her son. She loved me when I went in her bank account. Wow. She loved me when I robbed the rest of the family. I left him all through that. And even when he had went to jail for shooting my son, I wrote him. I sent him money. To this day, he the only person he'll tell. Okay, he will control. He was like, they call on Stacy because nobody else can control him. And he just, he cried his little heart out and said, I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, he knew I loved him. And he knew it to this day. I love you. And and it's with no, I don't need nothing from you. I just want to love you. So I want to leave that legacy through my family. Love people. Be kind. It really does work. I know people think it's old school and don't work no more. Well, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
God is still in the blessing business, and he has truly blessed me.
And guess what? You have blessed us today. Thank you.
Amen. Oh, you so kind.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for, like I said, for just having me. And, you are a blessing by yourself. So, don't try to give it all to me. You are a great person.
Thank
and,
you.
Thank you for having me on today.
Absolutely.
So, that's powerful in itself.
She blessed me, y'all. So make sure you go get the books. You got to have it. Free to be me, made without excuse. Make sure you go get it. Tell them one more time where they can get the books.
You get it at Amazon.com, so Barnes & Noble online. You can download it through any type of electronic, through iTunes, Kindle, and anything like that. And you can also call me or find me on Facebook or Instagram.
Awesome. Well, guys, Elder Stacy Rose, make sure you support her, grab her books. Make sure you follow her on social media. She's always posting real good, positive nuggets and inspiring things on her Facebook page and her Instagram, so you want to make sure you check her out. Listen, we'll be right back because my girl Penny Penn is in the building, and you know it's time for us to answer those questions, y'all. So get ready, get ready, get ready. In the meantime, I keep playing this song because I like it. Her name is Lisa Noel Smith. The song is Great Big God. He's a great big old guy. We'll be right back.
Who does
right here on the Ron Todd Show. And my girl is here. Penny Pen's in the building. So y'all know that means it is time for some table talk.
Some table talk. We got to give some shout-outs first, though.
Yes.
We got to give some shout-outs to, what was that, Amelia Raquel,
Hey, Amelia.
Carolyn Perry, Sean Harris, Venus Mason.
I think it's Siobhan.
Oh, Siobhan. I'm sorry, Siobhan. I owe you one. I'll get you next time. Venus Mason, Yvonne Scott, my baby, Kirsten Stuckey. Get in the
Hey,
books.
Kirsten.
Get off the internet. Turn it. Look, I'm paying good money. I just made Tamisha pay me yesterday.
Ah.
All right. And Marla Gresham. Marla's my, Marla is over there running the VA hospital downtown Detroit over there. We need to have her. She's over the mental health ward down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Marla and her husband also have Gresham Tour. So if you need a big old bus to get you down the highway,
Yeah.
you know what? Call Marla. The Gresham Tours.
Oh, Marla, you somebody I need to know.
Yeah, they'll get you there, and you're going to get there safe. That bus ain't going to break down on you, I promise you.
Praise him.
Nope.
Well, guys, it is time for table talk.
Right, first, talk to her. You know, we got to get that. We need to talk to her, because I'm claiming, 17 dependents, but I usually change that just before we file. And I go back to my 3 dependents, and and then, she got the real boutique. I got the bootleg boutique, like the Poshmark boutique in my trunk.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Listen,
so we need
ain't
to find
nothing
her.
wrong. I still sell CDs out my trunk. You better stop playing.
Right. Can we have chicken dinners today?
Yes, absolutely. 'Cause
We
you know I
about to
can
have some.
fry me some chicken.
We about to have some business. So
So-
what's up?
Speaking of food, now I had me some Mediterranean food today. But for some reason, I can't seem to get that taste out of my mouth. I didn't have a whole lot of garlic because I knew I had to be in front of people all day.
Yeah.
But it's like when you had a Mediterranean food, and I love Mediterranean food. I'm not talking bad about it.
Oh no, I love it.
But I still I've done mouthwash.
It has a distinct taste.
And I'm always scared that I'm scaring people.
Okay, you know what you got to cleanse your palate with? Grapefruit.
Really?
Grapefruit cleanses the palate. Yep.
That is really good to know.
Grapefruit.
Hey, Yvonne Scott, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
So you got to do a little grapefruit.
Okay, so it's time for us to jump into our questions. And here is the first one. It's Ask Ron and Penny. Here we go.
Them your friends.
Okay.
Recently been kind of talking to this girl and everything, and things are going really well. We're hanging out a little bit and everything like that. But I'm gonna try to keep it short and simple. A few years back, she was kind of talking to my brother, and they were quite the item for a little while. So I'm trying to figure out how to break the news to my brother, or is it still too soon for me to, or anything? I guess my question is, when do you think I should break the news to him, and any suggestions on how?
So, let me get this straight.
No, let's just get the devil is busy in these families.
Oh, he loose throughout the land.
Devil. Oh,
He running around.
these families.
And it's always the brother messing with the other
brother,
brothers.
you're right. Listen, everybody from
Get
this-
your own. It's enough fish in the sea. Good Lord.
Okay.
Have mercy, Jesus. Okay. So, I always have to kind of repeat a little bit because I have to make sure that I understand.
Okay.
So, his brother used to date the girl that he's with.
Right.
And they're serious now, so he's trying to figure out how does he break it to her?
How does he break the news to his brother that he's dating his brother's ex-girlfriend?
Nike, just do it.
Just do it. Okay, just be honest. And the other part of that would also depend on why they break up. I mean,
Right.
I guess the whole thing, why are you even dating your brother's girlfriend? Now, I hope he
Right.
wasn't coveting your brother's girlfriend. Anyway, he didn't say he was. So we
Well,
don't let
my
him go.
issue with it is that you knew this was your brother's girlfriend when you indulged in the relationship.
Absolutely.
It's not like you said, "Oh, you look different." I couldn't recognize her and we fell in love. No, you knew.
Yeah.
So that was already off limits, unwritten code. You don't do that. My brother's much younger than me, but then he married someone that's much older, so I guess that doesn't matter. But the thing is, we
See, there
didn't
you
go
go.
through-
Nobody asked you for that.
we didn't
Stick to the
we didn't date the same people, but I'm saying I'm not going. If he got a divorce, I'm not going to go date his wife.
Yeah.
She's just off limits.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the whole thing, if they're serious, if he's looking at being serious with this brother's wife, then he should probably tell his brother. I just watched a movie that was like that, and it was called Secrets. I don't know if it was on. I don't know if it was Netflix. I don't think it was Netflix. It was one of these off channels. But anyway, just told your remote up, go to Secrets, and tell him to watch that movie and then see how they found out the dudes. He can use that as a platform or a catalyst to break this. But he just needs to be honest. Tell the truth.
He needs to be honest.
Just do it.
Point blank. Okay. Hope we helped you. God bless.
Good luck. If
All right.
not, I'll read about you on the news.
Right. Here we go. Next one.
Hey Ron, I have a question. So I've been dating my boyfriend for about 7 months now, and his baby mama somehow found my number and found out where I live and keeps hitting me up, and she is requesting that I stay away from her kids for now. I just wanted to know, how long do you think is appropriate to come around someone's kids?
Wow, that's actually a very good question.
That's a very good question. If this is going to be a long-term relationship, okay, so Steve Harvey actually addressed that in his book. And Steve Harvey's opinion is that you should dive in and meet the kids, because if there's going to be some friction between you and the kids, better to find out sooner than later.
Well, no,
Okay.
we're not talking about the kids. We're talking about the parents.
Right. But I don't need to meet your baby mama, Ron.
But no, she's saying the baby mom doesn't want her around
the
her
kids. But she has to, that's my whole point. She has to interact with those kids, because if I'm going to be in a long-term relationship with your baby daddy, then the kids are going to play interactions.
So the
kids are
question
gonna
is,
come into
the
the
question is
afternoon.
time frame, though.
The
Because
question
my
is time
thing
frame.
is, because if
Right.
you a loosey-goosey,
Well, no.
and every time I look around, you got somebody new, we're not going to just have my kids around anybody.
Right, but that's why I say if they're looking to, this relationship is going to be something between her and her boyfriend, where eventually she will be a permanent figure in his life, then she needs to interact with the kids. Because I don't need to find out after I'm really deep in love with you that I don't like your kids, or I can't put up with some of the things that your kids do.
That is
and then
true.
that's going to cause some friction.
So she's asking for a time frame.
There really is, to me, there really is no time frame. When it's right, it's right.
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 And then, first of all, this is a good.
How did the baby mama get the number?
How did the baby mama get her number?
Right.
You know, because that the baby daddy probably gave it to him. He out of line.
Did she pick up his phone, baby mama, on the nightstand one night when they was together?
Well, what was they doing together?
See, now you messy.
No. What were her and all they doing pick up and drop off?
Well, but here's the
He
thing,
should-
too. I'll be honest. It's very simple to get your number. All I got to do is Google, type in your name, and you can get a phone number.
She says she knows
So-
her name and address, and basically
She
she's
can get that off
stalking
Google.
her.
She's stalking her. But so honestly, she needs to have a conversation with her boyfriend and say, listen, your baby mama's calling me. She got a problem with being around the kids, so you need to handle that.
Yeah.
He needs to handle that. And if he don't handle that, then that tells you a lot about him as a man, and, you can base your decision there.
But I do think that there should be a time frame, because, like I said, if you a loose goose and you got a girlfriend every other month, you're not about to just be meeting my kids now. However,
But that's a conversation that I'm not going to have with you. I'm going to have that with my baby daddy.
right.
That's the problem. The whole communication is way
Oh,
off base.
that is
I
so
can't.
true.
She's not coming over here picking up my kids. He's picking up my kids, taking them around her. So it has nothing to do with her. It has everything to do with him, and she needs to put that back on him. And that baby mama needs to not call her, but talk to her and say, "Listen, this is the third girlfriend you've had, and we just at February 4th. You got to cut it out." And nobody else can meet these kids.
And you know what? If I were her, I would say to him, listen, maybe we need to put this on pause until you work that out with her, because I don't want to be disrespectful to nobody.
Right.
And show him, like,
Right.
listen, whatever the issue is, whatever the problem is, you be the bigger person and say, okay, listen, let's sit down and have a conversation about this. Because guess what? If he really feels strongly about her, then he should be able to go to the baby mama and say, well, listen, I'm really serious about her. I think this may be someone I'll be with for a long time, or somebody I may potentially marry, so she's going to have to interact with the kids. Then they have to decide what that looks like.
Right.
You know, because don't get me wrong, that process has to be an introduction. And
it needs to be a proper introduction. It needs to be a proper introduction on both ends.
Yep.
To the kids, and hey, this is my.
And there has to be boundaries, because just because you're going to be an adult figure in my kid's life doesn't mean that you're going to be whooping my kids. Doesn't mean that you're going to be mistreating them. So, and the thing is, it's a very touchy subject, because one thing we all know as parents is that we don't play when it comes to our kids.
But it's touchy because we allow it to be touchy.
Well,
because we allow our emotions and our feelings. Because number one, baby mama's already out of line by calling the girlfriend. That conversation should have been had with her baby daddy.
Out of line.
So that's the first. That's the first thing. So we have to stop. Relationships don't work out, and they don't work out.
Yep.
So now he has moved on. She needs to move on.
Yeah.
But she needs to. I would just call you, listen, Ron. Like, you don't have these kids around 4 different women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you want to have your girlfriend time, that's fine. But don't let it interrupt with the time with you have your kids. So is there a timeline? I don't think that there's any set timeline as to when you introduce people to your kids. But if you're just out there randomly dating, then just randomly date. But don't bring that person in to help you parent your kids.
Right.
That's my answer.
And then, like you said, communication.
Communication.
The two parents need to communicate and come to a resolve and be mature adults about the result.
Right.
This is somebody he's serious about. She's going to have to be around the kids. If that means you say, okay, well, I don't want her babysitting them. I don't want her there with them alone, right now, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Because, again, it's still a learning experience until the kids feel comfortable around her. I'm working on a book that's called The Role of the Step-Parent.
Okay.
And it's so important because a lot of times people come into the lives of children and they don't understand what their position is.
Right.
They don't understand their role.
Right.
And it all depends on a few different factors. It depends on the age of the child. I mean, if you're dealing with adult children, then your job is to try to maybe be their friend, get to know them.
Right.
If you're dealing with a child in the household, then you're an adult figure in the household and a guardian figure, but I don't believe that you should force them to call you mom or dad.
Oh,
the ball is always in the kid's court, but a lot of people don't understand that. They come into a child's life, listen, you living in my house, you're going to call me mama. Well, guess what? They live with their mama on the weekends.
Right,
So
right. And then there has to be some boundaries there, because even if a child is 8 or 9, they come in there, my kid wouldn't be like, hey, Ron, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
If you'd have to be Papa Ron, Dad,
Mr. Ron,
you have to have. I ain't gonna have you Mr. You gotta have some type of title, because they gotta be of respect. No 8-year-old period should not be going up to you like, hey Ron, how you doing?
Right.
So there has to be some type of boundary set.
But you know what?
Good luck, girl.
Good luck. But you know what? Real quick, a quick segue, and we'll go to the last question. That just goes to respect on different levels. Even the way I was raised, if there's somebody that's old enough to be my parent or anything of that nature, I always put a little something on they, when I talk to them.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not just going.
That's out of respect.
It's just like Evangelist Sandy Rose. I call her Auntie Sandy.
Hey, TT.
I'm not about to just call her no Sandy because we're not the same age. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
There's just
you
a
trying to tell her
respect.
eight?
I'm just saying,
You're gonna get us put off the air.
There's
there is a respect. Telling her age and everything. She didn't ask you to do
her
that.
Is a decade over a century. No, I'm playing. A century, no. But the thing is
gonna be canceled over your show.
But see, she don't look like it, so it's okay. But the thing is, it's a respect.
It is.
I'm grown. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
She growner. So
Right.
that's just how I was raised. So even when I see kids and teenagers, my oldest daughter's 15 years old. So when I see another one around that age, you can't call me no Ron. What's wrong with you?
Right.
But it's those type of respect levels that we're missing in this generation, which cause people to be so nasty and smart.
Right.
It's just like, I wouldn't dare, even if I was a profanity user, I wouldn't dare go around my elder and be using that kind of language and be in the party store talking any kind of way. But they do it because there's a lack of respect. When I walk into a party store, if there are teenagers in there, they shouldn't feel comfortable just doing anything and talking any kind of talk in front of me. I'm an adult.
Right.
But it's amazing how times have changed.
Yes, sir.
People don't even demand respect from their kids. That's the other problem. Because
you done moved on to a whole nother subject. That's another show.
Yeah. Because guess what? I don't care how old you get. You'll never feel like you can disrespect me as much as I've sacrificed for you. Because if you do, I'm going to have a real good baseball bat for you. Hear me? Tell you that right now.
That's right.
Okay.
You let the James Evans done came out on you.
Yeah. Here we go.
All right.
Hey Ron, can I ask you a question? What do you think is the best way to be successful at your job when your boss is, always negative and not giving you the tools to be successful?
Really wish he could have elaborated on his question, but he's saying, what do you do at a job where your boss is always negative and not giving you the tools that you need?
To be
Raise your hand. The boss always has a boss. The boss always has a boss in most cases, unless you're working at a boutique company where it's you and the owner. Generally, the boss always has a boss. And if you know you're good at your job, you apply yourself and you give it 100%, raise your hand. You let the next level person know, listen, I'm not trying to go over my boss' head, but I'm not getting what I need. I'm not getting the tools that I need to succeed. I do property management. I manage 380 units. And there are times where I need money to do what I have to do. So if I felt like I wasn't getting the results that I need, now I have a wonderful supervisor now, but I'm just saying, if I felt like I wasn't getting the support I need, we're going to go up that ladder. Because guess what? You need me to perform a job. And if I can't get what I need to perform it, then we got a problem. And so you got to be careful, because if you don't speak up, and you don't, in the world they say CYA, I say CYB, cover your butt.
But it's CYA for sure.
You got to cover it.
Yep.
That means put it in writing.
Put it in writing.
Put it in writing.
Yep.
On this day, I was told that I needed to do XYZ.
Right.
I could not complete XYZ because I didn't have, ABC. And guess what? That takes it off you and it puts it on them.
Yep.
And it's not throwing them under the bus. It's maturity, it's business, it's handling your business.
And that's very true. I mean, I do that all the time. When I see patients at home, I will call 911 and send them back to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I'll call I did it yesterday, call the ER director, call the social worker. Do not send this patient back home unless they have the full medications they need, the full tools they need. When they're inpatient, get a social worker on board. Yeah. I mean, I have to do that, and I'm documenting it all. I'm covering myself because, and sometimes you have to use your own resources.
Yeah.
And you have to just be resourceful yourself.
Yeah.
And try to figure out how you can get what you need, because sometimes you will go to higher management and you're met with, well, they'll come back to you. Have you tried to talk to them? And have you tried to talk to them?
That's a good point.
And that happens. And
he's saying that they're always negative and this, that, and the other. But that is always, you always go to them first. And then if they don't give you the results you need, then you go up the ladder.
Right.
And so my thing is, sometimes I treat people how I want to be treated.
Right.
I don't like to be micromanaged, so I don't micromanage people.
Right.
But I also like to be given the respect or given the opportunity to correct an issue before you go over my head and say that I didn't do it.
And sometimes it sounds like it might even be a situation where, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, where he may actually know more than his manager. Because sometimes the management doesn't want to say, oh, that's I don't know how we could really get that done. So it'll just come off as negativity.
Wow.
So that's something he needs to evaluate too.
Absolutely.
And if he is, being underappreciated, I'm gonna give him another word of advice. You got a 30-minute lunch break. You go on Indeed.com and look for another job. Sometimes it comes to that. I had one of the nurses. She said that she was like, "Oh, I'm stressed. I'm doing this. I'm doing that." And I told her, I was like, "Hey, you know what? It's all about time management. You take 10 minutes on that job and look for another one."
That's right. But if you realize that, we in a new decade, in the last one you had 35 jobs, maybe they're not negative. Maybe they're not giving you the tools. Maybe you're not applying.
You always start everything with self-evaluation.
Self-evaluation.
Relationship, friendship, kinship, folkship, whatever it is, you always start everything with self-evaluation. And you start there. And sometimes if you're just not getting what your worth is, it is time to move on.
Yeah.
And now the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Yep.
But, it just may be a situation where he might need to sit down and evaluate. Maybe his boss doesn't really know.
Yeah.
And have you really tried to say, you know what, I think we can do this if we did this, and how can I help us get this? Don't put the onus on him. Maybe you can put the onus back on you if you enjoy your job. How can I help us get this into play? You know, and then he might say, you know what, man, hey, why don't you take this tool and do this, or take this and do this, or I'm on a limb here because he wasn't very specific about it.
Exactly. So good luck to you. Don't get in any trouble at work. Otherwise, you'll be calling Marvin. God bless. God bless.
Right.
All right. We thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We have had such a good time as always.
Did you say call him Marvin?
You call him Marvin.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Right, honey. Marvin has been booed a couple times, okay? But
and the thing about
Marvin done got cheap.
Marvin done got cheap.
Marvin got real cheap.
And not only that, but you gotta be careful when you dating Marvin, because guess what? He don't take you out for 6 weeks.
And that's it. And ain't no more extensions. Ain't no more extensions.
No. Yep. So you don't want to date Marvin too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the thing is, if you get another job, you got to quit Marvin. Now, you got to break on up with Marvin,
and you can't get Marvin again for a little while. So
for a little while, you better be careful with Marvin, because you go to date Marvin and you got you a little job, you're going to be in jail again. All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you so much.
I got to go catch the tax lady before she pull out.
Yes, with your 13 dependents, but you got 2 kids. Love you for free. Talk to you next week right here on the Ron Todd Show. You never know what's going to happen.
To bless your name and give you praise.
You've been listening to the Ron Todd Show, heard every Tuesday evening right here on WVTC Radio Detroit. If you have enjoyed this broadcast, won't you consider liking and sharing this with a friend or family member? We'd love for you to share it to your Facebook page. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit. We are WVTC, winning victory through Christ. The views and opinions expressed on the previous broadcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WVTC Radio Detroit, its advertisers, or affiliates.
WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.